Oh, hello, Ryan.
Hello, how's it going, Mike?
Good, man. Welcome. Welcome to our realm, which is basically your realm.
I like the diversity. I represent the hatless.
The hatless. You have the glasses.
Yeah, I've got the glasses. Yeah, just there's too many white people on here, man. What's going on, white people? At least we got an Australian. That's enough for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're convicts, so.
Apparently, Sarah thinks we have the accent, so she's very wrong.
She's so wrong. We don't have an accent, you weirdo.
Ryan, your accent is like, I'm from California, and
I'm from Georgia. I am from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm actually from Monroe, Georgia. That's not true. And I'm going to move back to the South, I think, so I can get back my cred as a country singer.
LA.
Is that like Alabama?
Like I can tell that Ryan's got a Southern accent, but I'm obviously from America and I'm on the West Coast. Can you tell the difference between like how me and Mike sound and how Ryan sounds in terms of accents? Or
everyone's got their little nuance, and it's like Brian Fanzo sounds different to you, and Robert Stern sounds different to you, and Robert's very like almost like New Yorkie.
I'm jealous. We've got Bell Strategies in here, and I'm like, I love it. I love it. Rachel Creveling. I'm following you now. Okay, so I already love this human, Rachel. I already love you just from your picture and your 15 words. Africa Miranda's in here. Cool.
Yeah.
So is this like your community of like the people that you guys usually blab with or scope with?
I see a lot of familiar, friendly faces in here.
Me too.
But not all. I don't know Leonard Moran. I don't know John. No, I do know John and Blake. I know a lot of these people.
It's funny. I've been jumping a lot of blabs since we set this up, so I can be more familiar with it. And every time I jump on one, the guy goes, or one of the people will say like, "Oh, hey, Jared. Oh, you seem really familiar. I feel like I know you from somewhere." Okay.
He's lying. He's just making you feel good.
Yeah, they're just trying to make me feel good. It's working. I feel really good.
We should have recorded yesterday's disaster that we had.
Oh my god.
It was fucking amazing.
That was great. Yeah.
We did a test yesterday, and Jared started it, so we get Sarah on and me, and then all of a sudden Jared just goes away, and he's trying to log back in.
And I couldn't get back in. It wouldn't let me back in. So I'm watching and I'm messaging them. And then Mike accidentally hit the beta button and then recycled. And then I couldn't let him back in. So me and him were typing to Sarah, who was the only one on.
Let's just say it was a comedy of errors.
The stress on Sarah's face was fantastic, to say the least.
I feel like that's a really good segue to start the interview.
Yeah, let's rock this there, Mr. Conrad.
All right, everyone, just thank you so much for coming to Entrepreneurs Roundtable. We won't spend a lot of time talking about what we're doing. We'll jump right into this today. Of course, we've got Ryan Bell here. And I just really quick, I know we've said it privately multiple times, but we just want to thank Sarah for setting this up, being the connection here. So thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah Moore.
And yeah, let's jump right into this. I don't know. We'll just kind of do. From what I've been noticing, Blab's way more casual than what we normally do with Entrepreneurs Roundtable, which I like. And I think we should adopt that.
We usually wear suits.
Yes,
so,
we have suits and
talking business.
Let's jump into this. Mike, do you want to start off with a question, or how do we want to do this? Or do you want? Because you said you've got like a ton of questions.
Yeah, I wrote down like a bunch of them. But I mean, I guess. For our audience, I know like a lot of people here probably know who Ryan is, but there's some people tuning in who are from our audience. Like Jared and I are pretty new to the whole scoping thing and the blab thing, and pretty much Sarah has been our reason for jumping onto it because she just keeps telling how amazing it is, and she started talking about you recently in our Entrepreneurs Roundtable group on Facebook. She just kept bringing you up, and like, what is it about this guy? I was like, why are you so obsessed with this guy? It's creepy.
Oh, shut up.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but she had mentioned you, and so I just want to get like a little background on, I really want to kind of dive back a lot more, but like, what gives kind of like people a little background from like a couple of years ago till now, like what led you to right now getting involved and like doing the whole thing with the Periscope Summit, but like like leading up to that, and some success before that in your career.
Oh my God. Today I'd rather talk about failure. Failure is more awesome to talk about.
Well, give me 2 successes and like 10 failures.
Oh yeah. Well, right now I'm actually in the headquarters of a place called Spark Program. It's a apprenticeship program, a mentoring program for kids that are 7th and 8th grade, and they pair kids that are kind of from troubled backgrounds, and so I worked with them, amplifying them, and so I'm actually talking about helping them out with some other things. But I've always been very interested in building communities, and I've always been very interested in helping brands to be seen. And I recently won the Presidential Award for Volunteer Service for all the work that I've done with Special Olympics and with Spark Program, because it's something that I truly, honestly believe in. And I found out at a very young age that I was a good teacher.
Okay.
And so I failed multiple times when I started out being an entrepreneur. I thought I was helping other brands, and I wasn't at one point in time, and I wasn't seeing the big picture. And I think that the failures made me realize that failures aren't failures. You're building on the bones of something else. As an entrepreneur, you have to realize, you have to know when to kill something that you love and build on the foundation of it. And, you can do that, like whether it's a Facebook thing that you can reuse and just rename. You can rename a Facebook thing once. That's how many times you fail, is you're like, oh, okay, I can't rename this again. They just won't let me fail anymore. I just can't. I failed too many times.
So would you say, like, when you're going through all this and the failures, are you finding that you were just deciding, were you getting like results that weren't up to par with what you wanted? Or did you find that they were successful, but in your gut, you were just like, I don't really feel this. This isn't going in the direction that I think I'm supposed to go in, so I'm just going to bounce from it.
Yeah, that's kind of it. So you always keep the remnants of something. I was talking to Mark Shaw. I don't know if everybody knows Mark Shaw, but he's pretty big on, he's just at Mark Shaw, and he's an entrepreneur. He's semi-retired at like, I think he's right at 50. Good time to be semi-retired. I feel like I'm 50 already. But he tried to do this thing where he was making a list of scopers to reach out to brands with and everything. So he had this list of over 1,700 scopers that he was able to do. And then he realized that it just wasn't working. He was sharing this list with people that were on the list. And so he killed it, and he came up with something else. And like, that's kind of the things that I keep learning, where you're like, okay, this deserves my time. I need to fast fail, or I need to recognize where the value is. I will fast fail the living hell out of something. And I had somebody that I partnered with recently on a podcast that we were trying out. And it's something that we put a lot of work into. And I just so ham-fistedly, so nonchalantly just threw it away. I was like, yeah, we're just going to have to throw it away, and I'm concentrating on something else. And this person was like, because this person wasn't like the entrepreneur. She looked at me like that was many hours of work. It was a big FU from me and I just was like, oh crap, I'm realizing that she's not a person that can do this. I'll build up that castle and I'll kick that son of a bitch down. I almost said something besides son of a bitch, but you know what I mean? Like the process of building is more important than what it becomes sometimes. If you build many things, one of these things will have a drawbridge and people will go through it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of companies out there that start, if you kind of go back to the roots of it, it was a different idea a little bit, and then it kind of pivoted along the way. So the failure either kept them in it and it ricocheted this way and was like, wow, this idea is so much better, and let's just go in that, and then it just catapults them. Plus, they have like that, the reason why behind it too. Yeah.
I love everything you just said, the whole idea of failure. I felt like when I stepped out from my what I used to do, I basically failed my way to get a little bit better, every year or so. So I'm totally loving what you're saying. I'm kind of curious though, because you talked about how I'd rather talk about failures. What would you say is your favorite or most epic failure that, is the best story or just you learn the most from or whatever it is? Like, if you had to pick one of them to showcase.
Oh shit! Like this
He's
is
probably got a million.
Yeah, I like. Oh my god, my troll down there, troll. My favorite is probably my first, and from it came a lot of other things. Like I just got paid yesterday. I got paid $50 yesterday to write 50 words for something, like my opinion. I was like, I'll write 50 words for $50 any second. And like it was funny because he was like, I can pay you maybe 50, maybe 100, but I just realized that if I just did 50, I wouldn't have to negotiate with him, which would take me more time than the 50 words. So I just wrote the 50 words instead of negotiating. But it was about being a dad blogger. Like, so I wanted to be like a dad blogger and dad podcaster and write about like all the stuff that I was learning about my kids, because like in America, I don't think people talk about like the fears of having a child and having to, what is it when they have to cut the tip of the wiener? I can't remember. Circumcision. That was a weird word to not remember. So I
love to hear you try to describe it,
Yeah, like with action.
When you just hack it off, what's that called?
Like this is how they do it. They just do it like
this interview just took a hard left.
Oh, we could take way more.
It just went slightly crooked, Sarah Moore.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking about slicing off the tip of your child's penis when they're young. So
yeah,
hopefully, we should change the title now. Circumcision with Ryan Bell.
I'm closing this down. Like this is the worst.
Do it, Jared.
So I failed in every way on this. I named it terribly. So the website, because I couldn't find the right website. Oh my God, I'm embarrassed to even say it. The website was named Daddy Issues 123 because it couldn't find anything that was cross-platform. And I got neurotic about every single thing about it, like everything about it. So I was my own blockade for like even finding out if I could fail.
Was it basically just like a forum where strippers just kept finding it and like?
It ended up driving like the wrong traffic and all this stuff, and then it was the worst. And I mean, like I pushed it so hard that I was able to get like speaking engagements out of it, and I was able to make money out of it, even though it's just absolutely friggin' awful. It was just not good. In fact, like so that $50 thing was basically that I just did was basically based on my dad blogging or whatever, and it was, and also what else I'm doing, because I can amplify anything now. Whatever I do is going to get a little bit more visibility. And it was a question of, what do you think of David Beckham's 4-year-old daughter still using a pacifier?
Okay.
Right? Like, dude, David Beckham's 4-year-old daughter is going to be just fine. Like why is it? Your adult teeth don't come in until you're 6. Fine.
Why did they want to know this?
Because that's trending in the news. So they wanted my opinion on that, and they told me they give me $50 for my opinion on that, which is I don't care. I just don't care. Whatever. Suck the hell out of the thing. Do it. Whatever.
Do you find that you're saying no more than yeah to like gigs now because of like, do you find that you're able to say like, no, I don't want to do that anymore? Which I think that anyone should do in general, but like sometimes people need to get to like a place in their head where they're like, I'm going to just say no to shit that I really don't want to do because it's not part of anything that I am interested in.
Right. Yeah. I caught myself today. Somebody was talking about a new live streaming app, and I was like, and they were asking me to do work for it, and I said it has to be a BMW. It can't be a Toyota. I have to be excited about it, otherwise I'm not going to be able to talk about it.
Nice.
So yeah. I mean, like I said those exact same words to somebody that had like just gotten funding last night and was willing to, start negotiating a deal. And I was like, I have to play with your beta. I have to look at what's going on. Because, right now we're in this process of everything changing where we're our own brands.
Yeah.
I am no longer daddy issues 1, 2, 3 or anything like that. God almighty, that's friggin' embarrassing.
The stripper helpline.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
which is funny because I'm getting flown out to speak at Boobiepalooza.
Yeah. Talk about. Yeah. What is this?
Boobiepalooza is a breastfeeding awareness, conference, I guess. I don't know. So it's so friggin' funny for me to go there because I'm seen as a relationship sex expert. I swear to God, I'm like, they call me like a sex expert.
Fantastic.
My wife would not agree with that. Like, maybe I'm the disappointment expert. I don't know.
Disappointment 1, 2, 3.
This is 1990s self-deprecation humor. What's going on? I'm bringing humor back. It's terrible. So they're flying me out to do this, and I spoke at one before, and I was on this panel, and I was on with Jamie Gramay, who I became friends with after. Jamie Gramay was on the cover of Time breastfeeding her son.
Oh my God! Yeah, I photoshopped my face in front of hers on a Facebook.
That's my favorite. It's so weird. No, I Photoshop my face on that all the time, like every day.
It's on Instagram, actually.
That's the first thing I do in the morning is Photoshop Jamie's food. Anyway, sitting on this panel, and I don't usually look and I don't really vet people to see who I'm with. I just go and do my thing because it's more fun that way for me. And so I'm sitting there, and we had all these hint water. You know, those hint waters that have like flavors of blackberry and you know those ones,
like vitamin water or hemp water.
They're just hint, HINT.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I was just killing those because anything that's free, like I just stole somebody's Diet Coke. I don't even drink Diet Coke. It's gross. I just drank it because it was free. I'm in somebody else's headquarters. I'm so terrible.
Wait, you took that from the kids you're supposed to be mentoring?
Those aren't even his glasses.
Yeah, these aren't even my glasses. I can barely friggin' see. I just found them on the ground. Right? Like, nobody knows that I'm really homeless. Like people are like, nobody knows. Entrepreneurship is homelessness. That's what I'm going to tell you. So anyways, I'm sitting there like on this panel, and I'm drinking this water and putting it on the table next to me and reaching across to this girl that's next to me. And we do the intros, and everybody is like, I am a psychiatrist. I am Jamie Gramay. I'm a breastfeeding awareness person. I was on cover of Time. I'm Ryan Bell. I'm a dad blogger. And then the girl next to me ends up being an adult actress. And so I realized that I think I'd mixed up our two waters, and I was like, oh God, that's a lot of. I was like, oh God. So like after that, I still haven't learned my lesson. I still won't look and see who's on a panel with me, but I do really keep it. I keep an eye out on my drinks. You know, I'm like, okay, that's mine.
So lesson learned, everybody. Keep an eye on your drinks. You never know when you're sitting next to an adult actress or actor.
Yeah. So
okay, so you're known as a Periscope expert, and then now quickly becoming a Blab expert. I first heard about it from you, actually, seeing online. Apparently, you're a sex expert, and you're a daddy blogger. So. What else do you do? I mean, I heard a rumor that you do some writing. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So I'm a published and award-winning poet, and I wrote. If you guys have heard of Zach Brown, I wrote the first song that Zach Brown ever got radio play for.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
It's interesting because I had like this really cool trajectory for my life. And I ended up screwing up in my opinion. I was writing, I was doing good, I was getting some visibility. And this is, when I was, 19. I think the first time I got published, I was like 19 or 20, and it just came very naturally to me. But then I don't know what happened. Like I started chasing ass and drinking like all the time, and like my life just became. Chasing money and paleo rioting. I don't know. It was, and
fuck yeah.
yeah, the thing that happened was, my wife. So this is kind of putting somebody on blast, but my wife had a bit of a problem drinking, and this is before we got married, and she decided to go sober, like dead sober. And after I went sober, like dead sober as well, things changed in my life. And then we had kids. Actually, I went dead sober after we had our first child. My wife had been sober for like a year. And I don't think I was an alcoholic or anything like that. I just think I didn't have a healthy relationship. You know, like when I did drink, like the year before I stopped drinking, I drank, I think it was like 6 or 7 times that entire year. Like it wasn't, you know, and it wasn't a big deal, but those 6 or 7 times it was like, okay, I'm going to get friggin' blasted and then, you know, play video games until I can't hold the controller, you know, that type of stupid shit. But really what happened is after I had my child and I realized that, you know, I wanted to always be straight. Like this is the hardest thing in my life right now, is caffeine. I ended up kind of realizing that a lot of the things that I promised myself that I would do in my life, I hadn't done. And I just freaking dream deferred like the hell out of my life. And so I was like, screw this. And so when at a certain time, I think around when my daughter was, you know, 3 months old or so, I just changed. And I think I've told Sarah this before, but I just became the person that I kind of promised myself that I would be, and that I'd lied to myself that I was. And
that's awesome.
It was really a lot more difficult and easy than I thought it was going to be. I had a lot of anger about some things that I had to get rid of, and so I did it, and I went hard at a lot of the things that I needed to. So yeah, sorry. Usually I'm a lot more funny, so I apologize. I can bring on the fun if you want.
No, man, that's good. That's I think a lot of people really can get a lot from that. You know, just being transparent in general. I think that's what I like about these mediums is people can kind of break away from the business bullshit and be real. And I think that's what kind of gets people to gravitate towards, you know, listening to other people. Besides their ideas, just like being open and transparent, breaking that wall down, you know?
Yeah, so. It's easy to get sick to death of talking about Periscope. Like there were weeks on end where I talked about Periscope and live streaming for six hours, you know, per day, pretty easily. And wow. You know, like everybody's a branding expert now. Everybody that used to be, you know, and I fall into this category. I'm sick of it. If you're not doing any effing thing, can I cuss?
Fuck yeah.
If you're not doing any fucking thing, then you're not a branding fucking expert, man. You're not if you don't have Periscope to drive. Periscope, social media is a driver. It drives to a different website. It drives there's no damn square card or swipey thing on Periscope. I can't be like, oh well, I'm buying your Periscope. No, dude, you're not.
Yeah. So
it pisses me off because all these people are like so big about I'm this and I'm this. You're not doing anything. You're creating in a vacuum and it's not going anywhere else. And flames die in a vacuum. You're lost in space, man. Unless you're doing something. Have a website. Have an event. Have something for God's sakes and stop friggin' talking.
So you feel like a lot of people aren't really. They're just kind of using a platform as their win, but they're not really like going past that and giving value to anybody. So they're like, hey, I have a lot of followers. It's like, all right, so what are you doing what does that mean? And they're like, oh, you know, I don't, it's right. Like a lot of people are just like the internet celebrities now. And that's what they want more than giving back to, you know, the value to people.
And I think there's value in that. There's value in just being that, but you also need to have somebody that's connected to you, you know, like, as a community, we're very strong. And what I think that, what you'll see pisses me off every time is when somebody is trying to do something like all by themselves. And there's so many people that are so willing to step on your neck to get to the next step. And it's like, dude, it's so much easier if we're doing this together. Because you see all these meetups that happen, like that amplifies the living hell out of everybody that's involved,
Yeah.
And that's one thing that, like I said on my Periscope the other day, sorry guys to interject. I feel like I should say something.
I was actually just about ready to tell you to see if there's anything in the comments.
No one's really asking questions, but I've got stuff to say, so that's cool.
Guys, ask questions. Go for it.
You get a lot of positive feedback, I expect, for your stuff.
I'm going to give you some feels. Give you some feels.
So one thing that you've taught me, Ryan, and I've told you this, and I said it on my scope the other day, which you didn't watch, was...
She's not bitter.
No. I'm having a hard time looking at a quarter of you. Like, we've got... You're a quarter of the screen.
Someone said it's like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah. I'm joking.
Anyway.
It's American humor.
It must be. So, what was I saying? So one thing that Ryan has taught me is how important community and connection is. And like I kind of got connection all the time, but I'm such an independent person. Like I want to do everything myself, and I want 100% of the glory, and I want 100% of the everything that goes with that. And it's because like before in life I've been burnt. So it's like it's kind of hard to collaborate with people without kind of feeling like you're stealing this away from me, or you're going to outshine me or whatever. I know this is like super raw and real as well. Like I'm not just saying this as well. And you guys like Jared and Mike, you've taught me this too, but seeing as Ryan's the one being interviewed, you're so big on community, and like that is fully to your credit. And I think that you're perpetuating that within the Periscope community and within the live stream community at large. And I think I feel like for me, a lot of your value comes simply that you are practicing what you preach, and that you're teaching, that you're exposing people in a good way. And I don't know if you can hear that. My child's going crazy. And he's Poppy. And I just like I don't have a question based around that, but I just wanted to say that that's what you've definitely taught me and shown me, and as a result, it's just made me such a much better person to be around. So kudos to you, Ryan A. Bell.
That means a lot. Thanks.
How do you? I have a question to kind of go with that, because I mean, Mike and I are kind of in this beginning thing to where, with the Entrepreneurs Roundtable, we kind of created it and like, it probably won't work, so we'll just do it. We'll figure out what to do if it works. And it's starting to work. And so now we're trying to figure out our roles. Like Sarah said, I'm very type A. I'm very much like, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll just do it myself, so that way I have control over it, and I know it's going to look the way I want it to look. And so we're kind of figuring this dance out between the two of us. And from what I've seen of you, again, I don't know you obviously near as well as Sarah. I've just started following you recently, but I can see that you're very much in a community. You're very much into helping others out. You're very much into giving. And that's something that Mike and I are basing our stuff on. But at the same time, like, I'm always fighting like the fear of like, well, if I give away too much, like, okay, so like someone else is getting a bunch of attention in the group, and I was going to say that, but then this person did it before I could, and so they're getting the attention. Or, oh, let's let Mike kind of jump forward. And like the last few things we've done, Mike's been kind of taking a little more of the lead of more of the calls, and there's like that back of the mind of, well, if he asks more questions, is he going to be more popular than me? And all that kind of stuff. Like, how do you deal with that inner stuff of like continue to be the guy to build that community and help the others out? And then do you get that head trash? Like, am I just like really?
No, you're completely on point. Like when I first started out this process, I wanted to be the guy in the background, and I had somebody that was basically, going to be my megaphone, and I didn't have a very large following. I still, in my opinion, I don't have a very large following, but that's another conversation. It's the people that follow me. If you look at my followers, it's a roster of like the best scopers. It straight up is. There's no doubt about it. You see my my broadcast, and you're like, holy crap, Euromeisters, Mark Shaw, Alex Pettit, all these people are in here. Like that's that, and Sarah Moore, very, very, very Point the other way.
Yeah, the other way.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's not like Randall Chase says. It's not always about big numbers. It's about impact. It's not the motion of the ocean. It's the size of the wave. I don't know, whatever.
That's what I always say.
Yeah, or whatever. I don't know.
So like, in building this whole community and in what your like vision is, like, do you start your day or your week with like a plan, or do you kind of just like, well, I just turn this on and I do stuff, or are you like kind of like Jared said, like type A, where you've got this whole whiteboard behind you? I don't know if that was your writing or if you stole it, but like
this is a stolen whiteboard.
Okay, but just for like effect. But like, do you plan your day, and like if so, like how do you do it?
I usually try to plan my day on my weeks next Friday on Friday. Okay. So I'll look at what's going on because your week's going to get jacked really soon. I always joke that my Monday ends on Wednesday because that's how it feels. That's catching up on emails and shit like that. Do you guys feel like that? Like I don't even like trash night comes around and I'm like, oh, it's only Tuesday and it feels like Monday morning.
I got so overwhelmed from email in the last couple of years, like building my company, that the moment I like started just traveling, I literally get a handful of emails a day now, and it's so much better. Like I'm so different from this. Like I used to be so into my week and so into planning and so my calendar. I'll have people call me like 5 minutes after an appointment, like, hey, where are you? I'm like, oh God, I totally forgot. Like, I'm so fucking burned out by all that shit. So like, I'm trying to get back into it a little bit, but it has to matter. I felt everything that I was doing didn't matter. And that's why I got burned out, because I was pushing so hard on something that I didn't really believe in. So I'm trying to find that again. That's why like I did this whole thing where I left, like, I started traveling around. I was like, I just need to find out a reason to want to structure. So there might be people out there that you could structure shit all day long. I mean, Monday through Friday, I mean, Grant Cardone, his biggest thing is the white space is the devil. But if you're not building anything, it's totally pointless. Or if you don't feel it and you're going with emotions, it can really devastate you like hardcore, So I think with you, it's cool because it shows and it sounds like, you have your vision, you're putting it into play, and it's like, it's all making sense. So when you are structuring your week, do you feel like, yes, this like is awesome, I'm excited for it? Or do you like, I'm just going through the motions?
Luckily I have my director, Kathy Hackle, helps keep me kind of in play. Yeah, Kathy's awesome because she knows that I can get sucked into a vortex of BS.
Yeah.
So I mean, basically, I do have a template as to how my weeks are supposed to go, and you're completely right. If you're going towards something with passion, then you're going to be able to do it, because you're going to be able to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to have a cookie and an iced tea for lunch. That was me today. Because I've got to get this shit done, and I've got to go to these places, and I've got to talk to these people, and I have limited time right now. Like right now, I'm trying to realize that I'm trying to work on the adequate amount of pressure. It takes the right amount of pressure to open the door without slamming it open, and right now, because we're building something very fast, it's something that I've been ham-fisted with lately, because I don't have time. And like my wife will listen to me say something, and she'll look at me and she'll be like, and I'll know that I've gone a little too far CEO. Like I was talking to somebody the other night, and I asked them a question, and about 5 seconds after I asked the question, I said I asked for numbers, not words. And my wife went like
she was like, that's so hot.
Yeah. I actually did get laid that night, but
he's worried about saying fuck, but he's like, oh, we're talking about getting laid.
Yeah, you should hear. She goes. Because usually I'm just a goofball, like, and then she hears me, going hard on these phone calls like all the time, and Like I don't need you to jack me around. I'd rather, you give me the bad news. I'm so sick of waiting for bad news because nobody wants to tell me bad news. Don't wait until friggin' Friday for bad news. Tell me now so I can turn it into good news. I've got bad news coming tomorrow just because that's my Friday. Friday's fucking bad news day. It always is because everybody's like, okay, well, I told him bad news. Now I can go to the beach. Dude, tell me the bad news so I can take care of it, man. I'm going to work with you a whole lot more if you tell me the bad news as soon as you find it out, because then I can go to the next goddamn thing. Man, shit. Sorry. You know what I mean, though, right?
I like the range of like emotions you're going through this whole interview. It's like fantastic. You're like happy, then you're serious, and you're like fucking pissed off and CEO. It's awesome. Change the headline. Ryan gets pissed off. Let's
like everybody loves to hear me rant. Like it's like the funniest thing. Like everybody just loves that because I will go hot and cold on your ass so quick because I don't have time. I don't have time for warm. Do
you I'm sorry. Go, Sarah.
No, mine was not important.
All right, just if you think that. Do you feel like, because you, I've seen a couple of your scopes, and like you'll involve your wife. I haven't seen if you bring. How many kids do you have?
Two.
Okay, so do you bring your kids on too sometimes? I do.
Yeah.
Do you find that there's a fine line with how much you want to share with so many people, where like there's this point of where people are just getting known, and then there's the celebrity status, which brings along just a little bit of like people like really following you a little bit more, and you're kind of like, and I don't know if I'm just kind of bringing this like sit down in the open, you're like, shit, I should think about this, because I feel like in the celebrity world, they either are they're out there and then they get some problems with it, but now on the internet, there's like these there's the celebrities that come up through Periscope and Vine and Instagram and all that stuff, where you get a lot of followers, and there's a point where like do you feel like you're sharing too much sometimes where you want to keep that private, or you're like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care?
We actually had a discussion about it, and it was like, it's part of my brand to be, a family man. So, I mean, like basically we're not going to be showing our daughters in the bathtub or anything like that, like there's not, but we're going to like be #FirstPerryFam or something like that, like, because I think it's important to show a healthy family, and we do have a healthy family. I love my friggin' wife. Like no matter how many DMs Sarah Moore says she's in love with me or whatever. Like
you get those too?
Yeah, she said, like sometimes she sends them out like mass emails, and you see that she's like CC'd a bunch of guys on there. But no, I think it's important because
shut up, Mike.
I stand up for a lot of things.
That was so
that damn funny. Jeez, it's more sad than funny. Don't laugh at her.
Oh, that's so fucked up.
She just needs love. But yeah, like I think it's important to show my family, which is a happy family, and so people will know who I am, so that they also have accountability. Like they're not just coming at me, and they realize that I'm more human because I am a dad.
Yeah,
I like it.
No, it's awesome. Jared, do you have a question? I've got like a ton, so.
Yeah, I have a question. So kind of in the pre-interview, what we had of it, you mentioned about working hard to not have to wear a tie again. That's something that I really hit home with me, because I spent, when I first got out and when I went to the whole entrepreneur thing, like I failed so much, I was like, okay, I got to go learn how to approach someone. So I spent a year in the car industry, and I had to wear the tie, I had to wear it every day. I had to get up, I had to go in, I had to do the whole corporate thing, and it was, the way it was. And I remember for me, there was a big turning point when I said never again, is we'd work what was called bell schedules, where it's like a 12-hour shift. And so I'd get up in the morning, and I'd get my kids breakfast, I'd set them up with like an educational show or something, for, and hug them and kiss them goodbye. And I remember there was a couple days, I said this in a row, too many days in a row, where I hugged my daughter and my son and kissed them and said, love you guys, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Because I knew that by the time I got home, they're going to be in bed.
Right.
There was actually a couple times I got in the car where it was just too much. And I remember just crying all the way to work and getting to work and being like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I gotta do the whole entrepreneur thing. And so that drives me. Anytime like, I'm getting short on funds or something's hard or whatever it is, I can look back to that and go, no matter how hard this is or whatever, like, I don't ever want to say that to my kids again. Like, I never want to like kiss them goodbye in the morning and say, I'll see you tomorrow. Like, I love the fact that as soon as I get off of this, I'm going to go spend like 4 hours with my kids, not working. It sounds like you have something similar. You talked about, working hard so you don't have to wear a tie or whatnot. Can you tell me about that a little bit and kind of your idea on why you do what you do?
So the last job that I had, which was in helping small businesses to grow and to make money, it was working for a company called Insperity. And it was probably the worst job for me ever. It was call room. It was wearing a suit. It was, very, very difficult in the spreadsheet type of way. I had also worked selling cars. I worked for a BMW facility for years, and I was very successful at that, but it was that bell-to-bell thing that was killing me as well. I sold a lot of friggin' cars, and that's actually how I ended up getting Grant Cardone. If you know his backstory, Grant Cardone started out as a car salesman and everything like that. So
that's how I found about him as well, in the car industry.
Yeah. So that's a separate story. But Brian Fanzo and I have talked about this ad nauseum. Like he will not wear a suit and tie, and like he's always wearing his iSocial Fans hat on backwards and everything like that.
He must look great at weddings.
Yeah, dude, I'll wear a tie if I really feel like it. Like I'm like, this is a cool tie, but a tie feels just awful to me. I don't like it. It it's constricting. It's a fucking noose, man. Like it's like it's a noose. Like what? Why? It just makes no sense to me. So like
it's like underwear to Jared.
When I
that's gross. Why I don't shoot from the waist up.
Just gross. Just gross. I don't want to think about Jared's underwear. Probably looks like it's all old and looks like a Civil War bandage.
It's like, honey, I can't buy those. It's like I don't want a noose around my.
Yeah. Like
my next Periscope, my underwear collection.
What is? Oh God. Oh my God.
So you don't like you don't even like to get dressed up at all, like just to.
If I'm going to a wedding, I'll get dressed up.
Do you like it, or you're kind of like, this sucks? Or you're kind of like, I actually like kind of getting, dapper.
If I'm going hard, like for some black tie event or something, yeah. I mean, that's fun, but I just got constricted too many times and put in a call room and put in the shell that I didn't fit in.
Do you feel that's because you were told you had to do it is why these things become so shitty? Like when they're like, no, like you have to. It's almost like, your job is saying, you have to cold call. And you're like, I fucking hate cold. They're like, well, you got to do it. And you got to wear a tie because, well, no one can see you, but you got to wear a fucking tie to do it. And you're like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Like, is there anything else that can make this more uncomfortable for me?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I felt. Like, it's kind of funny because I had one thing that was differentiating me, and I was wearing cardigans during the winter, and I looked all sweet, all dapper. And Mr. Rogers, shut up, Sarah Moore, you suck.
Hey, I wore those too. I got tired of just the regular suit and tie. I wore those too. I got made fun of every day.
I was crushing
it. You guys like talk about the alphabet to kids and shit. And
I was crushing it with the cardigans. And the head boss said that I couldn't wear a car. Said that stop the cardigan rule and put in place the cardigan rule. I was like, it's really sad if wearing a cardigan is my way of friggin' rebelling. There's something wrong here.
How old are you? Like 75?
I know, I'm an outlier.
You like piled on the old Spice even more.
Yeah, it's like kind of rancid patch or on the back or something, Slayer, Metallica.
Hey, Brian, quick story I think you'll appreciate. So my dad's in law enforcement, and so when you go to court, you have to wear a tie. Like you'll literally be held in contempt, I guess, if you don't. So he's also a woodworker as a hobby. So he actually made a whole slew of like wooden ties, and he, no joke, as an officer, every time he went into court, he would wear a wooden tie, and the judge was always like, "Is that?" He got to the point where they got uncomfortable, so he actually made them with hinges. So they would, like, when he'd sit down, they'd kind of fold, and he wore wooden ties because he was like, "Nope, not doing the tie thing anymore."
Oh my god!
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
That's somehow borderline insane for some reason to me.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So I got another question. So who, like, a lot of people are following you. Is it just on Blab and Periscope, or do you find that are there other platforms where you get like a lot of that it's valuable to you, or do you just stay? It's kind of like a two-part question, but do you stay just in that realm of Blab and Periscope and spend majority of your time there?
So I like to think of everything communicating with each other, obviously. So I use Blab, I use Periscope, and I use Medium. So Medium for writing pieces, because those things all connect with Twitter. And, you know, Twitter is kind of the end all be all for me. I don't care about Facebook. And the cool thing that's happening with Twitter is, like, my fans can range from housewives to, you know, to whatever. And
Non-housewives.
To non-housewives. There are other things that aren't housewives. And so I'm noticing that a lot of housewives are like DMing me on Twitter, which never happened. You know, it used to be through Messenger and everything. So I'm like, yeah, that's really hot. Shut up, Mike. Shut up. You said you were going to make me cry on this. Like, the only way you're going to make me cry is with your shitty ass jokes.
I thought you were going to earlier.
You thought I was going to cry? No, that was an act.
I was like, it's already happening.
Sorry.
It's like,
no,
it came to fruition.
Shut up, Oprah.
So housewives DMing you. Twitter.
I'm just seeing Twitter as a more fun environment now. Like, remember how it used to be all businessy? Now you see, like, funny tweets and everything. Stop taking pictures of your stupid self. Like,
He's mean.
I'm periscoping.
You're periscoping.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Periscopes. Come on, Sarah.
So do you find that there's people on that you follow where you're like, this person is just, or like a couple people are like, I have to, like, tune in when they get on. Like, I get a lot of value from them, and, like, you're like, oh my god, like, almost kind of starstruck by them.
And you don't count.
No, I don't have anybody that, like, I'm like starstruck. When somebody reaches out to me, or like somebody gets in touch with me, I'm like, holy crap, like, Sugar Shane Mosley is DMing me. That's kind of cool, but not anybody on Periscope. Like, I don't like, I think Periscope is a great equalizer, because you could see somebody come on that's like some god. Like, I wrote an article about how Hillary Clinton sucked it up on Periscope, because she didn't even show up. But, like, Periscope's the great equalizer. We're all the same on Periscope.
Yeah.
You know, some of these people are going to come on and have thousands of followers and everything, but it's still going to hit that critical mass where it's going to say, hey, you can only talk to this many people in the broadcast, you know? So I don't know. No, to answer the question, no, I don't give a damn. If you're good on Periscope, I'm going to watch you. I watch people that have 10 followers, and I watch people that have tens of thousands of followers. I don't differentiate. I differentiate by skill.
It's really just not based on, like, the followers. It's really, like, just people that they do stuff. You're like, damn, like, that is some really good shit.
Yeah, like, there's a girl that I was just talking about that's going to be doing 24/7 scope, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 4 to 6 weeks. She's starting on September 10th. Her name is Laura. Oh gosh, hold on, let me pull it up.
Yeah, you definitely want to mention that.
Yeah, because, like, nobody knows that this is happening. Like, so I'm interested in things because a lot of these things are, you know, I know a lot of the background stuff that nobody knows.
Her data plan's going to be through the roof, man. Like, doesn't that, like, just really eat all that up?
Yeah.
Or is that just my phone because I have a shitty ass provider?
She's probably got T-Mobile. Yay, T-Mobile. So I'm putting it in the chat. At Laura Lawson, she is getting some kind of contraption put together where, what's up, Mikhail? Where she is going to be broadcasting 24 hours a day. And that's like super cool. I think she starts on September, let's see. I'll tweet it out when she does. But guys, follow her. Tell her that I told you to follow. But it's at Laura LaurahLawson.
What's her like end game for doing that? It's just to do it.
I have no idea, man. It's like some serious hardcore Truman Show shit.
That's crazy. I mean, that's kind of like. Did you know about the Iron Cowboy? Did you follow him at all?
No.
He was this guy who recently did 50 Ironman. Is that it?
I've read that.
He did 50 Ironman in 50 states in 50 days, like every single day. There was even a point where he didn't like. He would just show up places, just make a race happen. And for a couple of them, he literally would just hold up shop in a part or like a hotel or something, and run on the treadmill for 26.2 miles just to get that in. It's like
he's a little bit of an older guy, right? He looked like Master Roshi. He had his shirt off and he was like super buff, but he's old. He had like a white beard.
I think he was in his late 30s or his 40s. I'm not
maybe
sure.
I don't know. Maybe it was just a little.
No, he has huge, like gnarly beard. But like people who do things like that in the beginning, it's just that word of mouth starts happening, and all of a sudden, in the middle of it, it's like you're having a conversation. Like I didn't know about this guy. Like by day 30, I think it was my cousin. I'm in Portland. And my cousin's like, "Yeah, have you heard about this guy?" I'm like, "No." And then I followed him all the way through because it was so intriguing, and he did it to raise awareness for child obesity. So he had a reason for doing it. So I was wondering if she had like kind of a thing where she's like, I'm doing this for this purpose, or she's like, I just want to just really just push the boundaries and make this happen.
I'm just crazy. Oh God, I don't know. Like I haven't had an in-depth conversation with her, but I brought her up a few times, and like I know some people that are going to be doing some amazing things that I can't talk about because I don't want them to bitch at me because somebody else does it before them, you know, that type of thing. But like, it's cool to be in the position where like people run things by me. Proud to be president of the Brian A. Bell Captain Underpants fan club. Getting trolled by Brian Fanzo is one of my favorite things in life, is to get trolled by Brian Fanzo.
Do you find that trolling gets like, do you ever get like harshly trolled? Like people are just real dicks? Or I've seen, there's this guy who is a traveler, he's a nomad, and there's a huge nomad community that like I kind of found, and this guy's named like Traveling Matt. He was doing his first Periscope the other day, so he's getting tons of followers. He's like really excited. He's like, yeah, man, I'm getting on my plane. It's so excited. And he's talking. He's like, did you just say, I hope your plane crashes? I was like, that's, and this guy he wrote the couple days prior that he's deathly afraid of flying.
No.
And I was like, people are like, sometimes I don't want to help people because I think people are just fucking dicks, you know? They use these platforms to just rip into people. It's like, you're such a pussy. Like, why? It's like, there's joking and there's being an asshole.
I think trolls, Brian says something in the chat. Trolls aren't the same as jackasses.
Yeah.
We need to have a differentiator, because I am an awesome troll. Sarah, I've come into your broadcast and I've made your broadcast by trolling you. like Sarah does not make good content. Okay, Sarah does make good content. But like you know, we have to realize that you're live streaming, and so the content that's there on the side here in Blab or on the screen in Periscope, like that's what we're playing off of. We're not playing off, like if it's not just a YouTube video where we're just talking into something. It's the show is what's going on with immediacy, with communication, with engagement, man. And yeah, Jay says I'm that funny happy troll. I will come on. And I will try to get under your skin, but not, you know. And Sarah, I do this to you all the effing time. And
You've
it's
done it to me
funny.
once.
Shut up.
I never wait.
You're a liar that can't count. That's
he trolls me in Facebook chat. He trolls me like on Periscope. He trolls me by email.
You tried to troll me via text. She's crossed.
I want to show everyone that too. You were like, "Who is this?" And you're like, I can block numbers. I can block numbers. And then you're like,
Ryan, I have a question for you about as far as that content kind of stream goes. So I was having a conversation with this morning. I was recording some videos of a film group we work on. And so coming from a film background, there's an expression that says, you know, show it, don't tell it. And its idea is like, don't have a character say something when you can have the characters doing something, or you can do a cutaway to show something. And one thing I'm noticing on Periscope specifically is there's a lot of people who are delivering good content, but they're like, sitting around, right? They're on their couch or they're whatever. And so my question is like, is that fine because it's the medium, or are we starting to see too many people who are just, I don't want to say getting lazy, but they're sitting around in their pajamas talking about something rather than getting up and showing. They're basically telling their content then rather than showing it and providing interesting streams.
Those people, they're gonna die on the vine. I mean, it's just gonna go away. We're seeing the original, at the beginning, people that were on the earliest of early adopters, that they're falling off the most loved list. People are doing like amazing things, like Ryan Steinolfson taking us wakeboarding, or Mitch from Australia taking us surfing with a phone in a bag, or people doing amazing things. Like, that's what's going to be content from now on. It's not talking about shit. It's just not. Like, you have to do things. Like Sarah saw me dress up as Elvis last night. I got a tattoo on my back.
Yeah, watch that.
Can you show it?
Seeing your ass crack like every 5 seconds.
I know, my wife is insane. Like, what is wrong with that woman?
Randall wanted to see it too. Randall hasn't seen it. You need to show.
No, it's not happening. I'm so embarrassed. And I found out later that that John Legere, the CEO for T-Mobile, was on that scope watching me. Shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, oh God.
Hey man, if you're gonna be transparent, doesn't matter the audience. Everyone gets to see it.
Yeah, so I mean, I run my shows like it's actual TV, and I think that's the way of the future. Like you have your daytime television. Like I talk about actual Periscope stuff. I talk about like being motivational, and then at night, like it's Saturday Night Live. Me and my wife will talk. We're gonna do something really stupid soon. I just talked to my PR director, and she was like, no, let's wait on that one until after the event.
You gotta do it.
Yeah,
do it, man.
So I've got this cache of really stupid shit that I want to do that I can't do right now because I'm kind of under the microscope. So hi people, microscope watchers. Sorry.
Do you think that's the best time to do it? Like, you look at celebrities who are like, Jack Black. He just came out and was like, or like every guy who was in like 40-Year-Old Virgin or Knocked Up, like they just basically came out like, we fucking smoke weed all the time, we don't do shit and whatever. So like,
now we're rich.
People, and they're rich as shit. But like when they do something, they're kind of like, yeah, I did that. And so they don't have this thing where people they're like, well, I have to kind of write something up to explain my behavior. If you're like always doing that, you're like, yeah, look, go back like fucking 2 years ago, you could see this. I'll send you 5 other videos that are even worse. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I've had so many. So I'm going to warn you guys. 1, I need to get out of here. 2, I've got low battery, 7%. So if I'm dead, I'm gonna. That's just me getting out of here and going back to Berkeley. Where was I going with this? What just happened?
Transparent, being too transparent.
Transparency. Oh yeah.
And then we'll wrap it up from there.
So yeah, it's been really interesting. Like, I'll do something. You mentioned the 40-Year-Old Virgin people. So I waxed my chest on Periscope. Like, and I actually, like, I even went hard. I still have the remnants of it. So let me pull up the old acid wash. So there's a D still on my leg right here. Like, you can still see it because whoever donated the most to the Start Broadcast documentary. Okay, I'm out. I've got to go to a meeting. Okay. And so whoever donated the most, I got their initials waxed in my chest. So we raised a good amount of money by getting David Polanco's initials. So I had DP waxed in my chest, which was painful. But I had so many, and then like there was one night where my friend Alex and I we cross-dressed as females and then did Hot or Not and talked about all the guys on Periscope that we thought were hot. And I had people that were like I can't believe you did that. I didn't know you were transgender. And I'm like guys have been cross-dressing for comedy on television for a long time. This is for a very, very long time. If you're talking about Shakespeare, I mean, look at Dan Aykroyd. Look at all these people, and like people don't realize that we're playing on what can be considered a very fun toy. It's a toy television broadcasting system, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And if we can be innovative and show people our world in the right way, then we're going to be friggin' awesome at it. But if we're just sitting here talking about things, it's going to get old and people aren't going to watch. People are going to watch my stuff because they're going to be like, holy crap, this guy's really trying to do something crazy. He's dressing up as Elvis. I was the first person to impersonate Elvis on Periscope. You know, I crowdsourced a country song because I had that idea to do that. So, I mean, just do the things. All right, let's start wrapping it up so I can go to my thing, and I'm at 5%. But this has been great, guys. You guys are all right for hat wearers.
Yeah, we usually we don't typically let in the non-hat wearers into our first time blabs.
Yeah.
Actually, Sarah said you had your cowboy hat is why I set this up. So I don't know what happened on that.
I'm still jealous of all of Jared's toys. He's gonna get off this and be like, yeah, no, you know. I've got you, Skeletor.
I should Skype that. Periscope that.
I will fight you for dirty underwear. Pie man fights underpants man. I don't know. All right. How do you guys usually sign out? So
usually let our guest host kind of plug something there that they're excited about that's coming up. So anything you want to plug?
All right. So Periscope Summit's coming up September 22nd to the 24th. Use the code FLASH on the VIP tickets and you get $30 off of VIP tickets. And that will get you into the VIP opening party at Hudson Terrace, which has a beautiful opening window deck and has all the, it's going to be amazing. And also the people at Start Broadcast that are doing the documentary will be there filming, and it's going to be pretty freaking epic. We've got over 40 of the most famous scopers all around the world coming in to talk about live streaming, media, trolling, the law. We have panels galore. We're building it up even more and more. So do it. Come to it. Make it happen. Do your thing.
Awesome, man.
And that's at periscopesummit.com.
Cool. Well, just from the Entrepreneur Roundtable, I want to thank you for coming on. It's been a great talk. Thank you for taking your time to do this.
Yeah, man. Really appreciate it.
Perfect timing. You know what 5% means on a MacBook? 5% means like any second now.
Yeah.
So much love, guys. Good job.
You
guys
have a great day.
Have done this before. Y'all are awesome. Hey, and where is this going to end up? Is this going to be a podcast on the Entrepreneur Roundtable?
Yes, it'll be our YouTube channel as well as podcast. Our podcast will be coming out here in a couple of weeks, but right now it's all going on our YouTube channel. So I'll send you over a link probably tomorrow morning when it gets up.
Cool, man. All right, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ryan. See ya.
Bye, guys. Much love.
Bye.
Later, man.
Okay.
All right.
Yay.
Woo, we're offline. No one can see us.
No. Yeah.
But we're still on the record. If you want to stop recording, hit the off the record thing, the on the record thing. Unless you want to plug your stuff.
Is it the pause button? I'm scared to hit the wrong button and delete it. Tell me what to do, Sarah.
You're not going to delete it, but you can pause it. Or are you going to plug Entrepreneurs Roundtable?
We can.
Shouldn't do that. Shouldn't do that at all. All we have is
we have
a group. We have a Facebook group called the Entrepreneurs Roundtable. You can find it on Facebook. It's free. We are growing members, and if you're an entrepreneur looking to get a support community, like Ryan was talking about earlier in the whole blab about community, like we're really building a community there. People post stuff all the time. It's like, here's a quick tip, check this out. If someone has a question about code, someone has a question about sales, marketing, whatever, and everyone really engages, and it's becoming a really good community for people, and everyone really helps each other out, and these threads just keep going and going and going. So if you want to check it out, just look in the search bar in Facebook, Entrepreneurs Roundtable. You could just add, you could add yourself, and then Jared will let you in. And that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else besides that. But just say balance.
We appreciate you tuning in. So yeah, we'd love to see you over there, and it's a great group. We get feedback from members all the time thanking us for the group, and then we have to thank them because it's obviously the members that make it so awesome. So
yeah, and Sam Ormiston. Yeah, it's a group page. It's not a page. It's it's a group page.
Yeah, it's a group.
we found that making regular pages in Facebook is kind of pointless, it seems, unless it's a group. People love the community. Sarah, would you like to plug something?
No.
Okay, see you later.
No, I am not going to plug anything. I should. My website is themoreacademy.com, more spelt like my last name. But and I consult on marketing and business, digital marketing, but have some things in the works. So follow me on Blab, because that's probably, follow me on Blab and Periscope. My handle's the same. That's probably, Steven giving me the love. Thanks, mate. That's probably where these things in the works are going to be.
What's the blood ritual, Sarah?
Who wrote that?
Mikhail?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Remember that when people come to your Facebook group, they need to do the blood ritual?
Bring out the goat?
Yeah, pretty much. So you can either go and do a blood ritual, or you could just follow me. You know, which is going to be the easiest one? No, I'm just teasing. Go to the group. I'm in the group. I love the group.
Sarah's is more painful.
All right, over to you.